Incredible, Iga. She storms to the Miami Open title.
Hey, what's up everyone? Kate here from Epic Tennis. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today we're going to do a recap of the Miami Open and some of the awesome and crazy stuff that has went down in the past week. So let's jump into it. So first we're going to start with one of my favorite things that happened throughout the Miami Open, and of course for me it is Carlos Alcaraz. Now this guy is a beast. I've said to multiple people that this guy is coming up with shots that I've never seen before, and I mean, I'm only 18 years old, but I've been watching tennis for a while now, like a lot of my life, and I've watched a lot of the Grand Slam finals, and I'm watching tennis constantly in YouTube videos, and this guy is doing stuff that I've never seen before. Like, the shot making is unbelievable. Not to mention also his footwork and movement is like next level. Like, he'll be in a corner way back behind the baseline and run down a drop shot that you would never ever think somebody would get the drop shot and then go hit a tweener and he's back in the rally. Like, some of the stuff that he's doing is just unbelievable. The next thing that I find really interesting about him is guys don't know how to beat him. Now I know he's coming up, and this happens with some other players as well, and has in the past, when players are on a high and are playing really well and are going through the rankings fast. Some guys don't know how to play them because they haven't seen their game, and I don't think that's the case with Carlos because he won the next gen, he won Rio this year, he made a really deep run into Indian Wells, and now he just like destroyed the Miami Open players to take home the title. So to get to my point, he doesn't really have a weakness, which is really, really scary if you're his opponent. So, man, the guy is insane. I mean, the only thing I can think of that might be a weakness for him, now, a weakness for him, it is not a weakness on the ATP Tour, I think, would be his serve. I mean, the only thing I think that's missing is maybe some more pop. But I mean, that is so nitpicky. Like, when I look at him, he defends like Novak. He has weapons and fighting spirit like Rafa. And then he's serving and volleying and hitting slices and drop shots. So there's the Federer right there. So this guy has got it all, and he's gonna win a lot of slams. I don't know how many. Is he gonna make it to 20 Grand Slams? I don't think so, because I don't think anybody ever will for a very long time make it to 20, just because there's so many good players now. But this guy is gonna win so many Grand Slams on clay, hardcourt, and grass, and it's really gonna be a treat to watch him in the next few years. So, other than Carlos, we also have another insane player that's destroying the women's side right now, who is Iga Swiatek. And you know what? Very similar to Carlos, I believe, but only on the women's side. Very complete game. She's the new #1. Just took over for Ash Barty, who's now retired. Just really complete package. Moves very well. Comes to the net. Solid off both wings. And one thing that I'm really impressed with her is her intensity. So she'll be, they'll be out doing the coin toss, and she'll be like bouncing around. Like, her favorite player is Rafa, as most people know, and she really is intense like Rafa, and that's something that I think a lot of people should be looking at, whether you're even a club player or a young junior. Watch Iga Swiatek's intensity on court, and before she even started hitting tennis balls, she's jumping around when she's like walking out on the court. So very impressive. She took care of Naomi, who is starting to come back and play well, 4-0. Naomi is a multi-Grand Slam winner and has big weapons, and Iga was able to just take care of that, and it didn't even bother her. And it's also nice to see Naomi back on another note. She is playing well, and it's good to see her in a final of a 1000 event, and hopefully she can string some good matches and a couple wins at some tournaments here in the next few months. But don't want to take it away from Iga. She is on fire right now. Big fan of her, so good job, Iga. So the next thing I want to talk about is racket throwing and racket smashing. Now, this is a very difficult topic to talk about, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to think about this topic. So make sure you leave comments about what you think about the situation, and I'm just curious what everybody else thinks, because I'm gonna spew out my thoughts about Krygios and Brooksby and the whole racket throwing stuff. So Brooksby, I actually forget who he was playing, but he's a little bit of he stays composed out there sometimes, but then sometimes he just like lashes out and like throws a racket, and it like kind of hit somebody. I think this time threw it at a ball kid, and like nothing happened. So I don't think it is right to be throwing rackets. Like, throwing rackets and smashing rackets is not something that I do at all. And my racket is like my child. It sounds really corny, but like, you need to take care of your racket. Your racket is what helps you win, and is going through all of the ups and downs with it. You got to take care of that thing. So for me, racket smashing, racket throwing is really just a disgrace in a way, and it's disrespecting the game of tennis that we all love, and tennis gives so much to so many people. And I think when you're smashing rackets and throwing rackets, it's just not right, from my opinion. However, Krygios, let's talk about Krygios. He had an outburst at Carlos Bernardes, I think his name is who is a very famous ump. Walkie-talkie went off in the middle of the point, lost it, got coded again, so lost a point because he was heckling the ump to his box, and then smashed like 3 rackets in the match. And don't get me wrong, I think Krygios is actually so good for the ATP Tour and for tennis and to get more people watching, but there is some things that is not right, and I don't think smashing rackets every match is right. Smashing a racket, here and there, go for it, because you know what, it gets a lot of views and makes people watch tennis. But then when a guy loses his mind and is smashing multiple rackets and is verbally abusing the ump and all these things, I think that's wrong, and I think that makes tennis actually look bad. So I think there's actually a little bit of a happy medium that can happen there. And it's just interesting the way Krygios works. Like, back to even when he was playing Rafa, like, he was playing so well, but then he would get so mad. Like, I think maybe it's because he has high expectations, and good for him, but you're playing the greatest player of all time, and like, he's getting so angry, and he's still on serve. Like, I think in Indian Wells he lost a serve and they were on serve, and then he broke a racket. Like, I understand that he was serving for the set, but like, I mean, you're still in the match. It's not like you just lost and the world's coming to an end. So there's some things there mentally that are a little bit weird to me that he does. But once again, Krygios, love the guy. I think he's so good for tennis. The trick shots, keep those happening. Come on, Nick, we love those. But yeah, just some thoughts there about the racket throwing, racket smashing. One more thing, Andy Roddick actually put a really good video that's really funny on Twitter. He basically just shows you how to throw and smash a racket, and it's not throwing it at somewhere or throwing it to somewhere, it's throwing it down and in front of you, so nobody is getting hurt. And he also talks about, like, if you want to hit the ball really hard and express anger, hit the ball down, not out or to somewhere, because it's gonna hit somebody. So if you are going to express some anger, there are some ways to do it, and he did it in a really comical way and showed us how to really do it. And one more thing too as well, I actually did crack a racket when I was younger, and I was so upset with myself. Like, I was playing in an indoor bubble, it was really damp and really cold, and I was just not playing well, of course, and I went like this, so bounced up, and it wasn't even really that hard, and it just cracked. And I was so embarrassed, and my parents were mad at me, and I will never do that ever again, because I love tennis, and it's not within me to break rackets or to crack rackets. So there's my little spiel on the Nick Kyrgios, Jenson Brooksby, and all that stuff. And there are a couple more things that I want to talk about from the Miami Open. First, also is the Canadian struggle. So Dennis has been struggling big time recently. He lost in the round of 64. I don't even know who. Like, it wasn't even on. I didn't even get to watch it. So I don't know what's going on there with him. He seems to be struggling this year. I know we hired Andy Murray's old coach, Jamie Delgado. I don't know if that is a good fit for him. Maybe they're still trying to work some things out. But I'm hoping that he can try and turn it up here for the clay season, which is tough for him because clay, I don't think is his surface. Hits flat, flashy player. The ball's going to slow down. I think a faster surface, indoor hard court grass is kind of more his thing. After all, he did win Junior Wimbledon. So that's the Dennis. Felix, I'm not going to be so hard on Felix because he had a really good start. Won his first ATP final, and then the week after lost to Rublev in another final. So I think he's okay. I think he's just tired. However, he lost to Kekmanovic. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying that wrong. So I mean, he had a great tournament, Kekmanovic. So it's too bad that he lost in the round of 64, but I still think Felix has a lot of good things coming for him. I think he, out of all of the Canadian players on the guys' side right now, is the most complete and has the most potential. So yeah, hopefully he can amp up his level again and bring it for the clay season. I know he's in Monte Carlo right now, and hopefully he can bring it. And then that brings us to the girls' side for Canadians, Leylah Fernandez. I think she's similar to Felix, a little tired right now too. I know it sounds funny to say tired. We're only in March, April right now. But the tour is hard, and she's young, and she had a big year last year, US Open final. I mean, that's a big deal. And she won a tournament this year. So I'm just saying more of the Canadian struggles at the Miami Open and in the last few weeks really. But hopefully she can turn it up again. I know I'm a really big fan of her fitness coach, Douglas Fitness. Trained Dominic Thiem, Verdasco, Nakashima, Leylah, Fognini. So I think they'll kick it into high gear for the clay, and she'll have some results. So that is it for the Canadian players. Hopefully they can turn it up here and get some results. And lastly, I want to talk about Isner, Big Daddy Isner. That guy is having some success on the doubles court, guys. So really good for him, which I can't say has had that much success on the singles court in the past few years. So, happy for him for, getting some big wins on the doubles court. He won Indian Wells. He won the Sunshine double. So that's winning Indian Wells doubles and the doubles in Miami. So he won with Jack Sock in Indian Wells and won with Hurkacz in Miami. So really impressive for him, and it's interesting to see a big dude like Isner's big, guys, like come on, to be playing well in doubles. And I mean, I was thinking about it last night, like big guy, huge serve. Like personally, I don't like returning in doubles compared to singles. So if you had a big serve like Isner coming to you in doubles, like that would be a nightmare. So maybe we'll see him play more doubles in the next few years, and maybe his singles career is maybe starting to not fade away, but he's not going to be playing as much singles anymore because he is getting older, and it's tough on the body, especially when you're a big dude like him. So maybe we'll see him on the doubles court more, which would be really cool, I think, to see a big guy just hitting bombs on the doubles court, and maybe he can win a couple slams. Like, he's clearly a good doubles player. He just won 1,000 events. So good for him. I think it's good for tennis as well to have more singles players playing doubles. And yeah. So to wrap it all up, guys, a lot of things that happened. Very interesting last week and a bit there with the Racket Smashing and Carlos Alcaraz and Iga Swiatek being #1 in the world, and a little bit of the Canadian struggles, but I really think it was a really good past week and a bit of tennis. And I'm really excited to see what happens in the clay season because, you know, there's a lot up for grabs. Like, we got Novak coming back. I've heard a lot of people saying that Carlos can take him down in 5 sets. Rafa is out with the rib thing. Hopefully he can come back. Medvedev is out with the hernia. So a lot of good stuff going on for tennis, and I'm really excited to see what happens. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.